Field of Greens. It's their daily superfruit and vegetable blend made with USDA certified organic fruits and veggies. And they've also got some customer faves like Radiance, the collagen booster, and their new Brick House Whey protein, all part of the 25% off, but only for a limited time. Kick off the fall feeling stronger and more confident than ever. Head over to brickhousenutrition.com and use code LaborDay25 for that 25% off. That's brickhousenutrition.com, code LaborDay25. Or you can just click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. Now, back to the video. Alright, so this is the 57th mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. Now, I don't have to tell you, Chicago is a Democrat stronghold. And he goes all in on Democrat policies. Like, this guy doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. Now, Brandon Johnson took office during the migrant crisis. Now, for those of you with short memories, when Biden was president, he opened up the borders, allowing millions of people to cross the borders illegally.
Tonight, nearly 10,000 migrants a day. That is what federal officials say they are encountering at the U.S. southern border on average in December. That's among the highest numbers ever recorded. And with multiple border entry points remaining closed as the surge at the southern border.
What's going on, your boy? Raj is here, thinking heavily, as always, for the opportunity to be able to talk to you guys and, say some things that a lot of people don't think I should say or may say, but, I've always been a dude that keeps it true and keeps it real. I have no reason to lie about anything, and my opinions are, of course, always mine, but a lot of insight is put into what I say. I kind of sometimes pray about what I'm about to say. If I'm about to do a video and I'm praying, I say, well, just hope the heavenly help me say what I want to say, not to really antagonize anybody or to even, try to rile anybody up. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I do. Even though sometimes I do, and I admit to my friends, intentionally try to rile people up. And the reason I do that, because I just need to get your attention. Unfortunately, for a lot of us as people of color, we only respond or understand rebel rousing. Profanity, action, fighting, cussing, fussing. That's kind of how we communicate, but that's not how I communicate, because I haven't been raised by my heavenly mother to be rude and ignorant to people. I have done it, yes. Obviously, I was in the Navy. How could you not be cussing and fussing in the Navy? And it's not like I went to the Navy to learn how to cuss and fuss. I'm sure I was cussing and fussing before I even went in the Navy. But, it's just that there's always opportunities to change your life. And I just think that a lot of people, even like keeping their health, they just don't want to be healthy. They like to say they want to be healthy. They like to say they want to do better doing this, but they just don't put the energy in on doing it, because a lot of us, unfortunately, as people of color, try to find more excuses than we try to get results. And it's easier to find excuses than to work on a result. Perfect example, I know that there are a lot of people getting Brazilian butt lifts and all this craziness. Instead of working out to make that happen, eating right, they pick the lazy way and go get chopped up, cut up, slit up, stitched up, because they don't want to take the opportunity to do better, to get in the health they need to be in. Again, I always said, I used to be 280 pounds. The last picture I remember I was 280 pounds that I took was with Play, from Kid and Play, down in my studio doing the shooting of a movie by my man, Jesus Saves, by my man Hans Soul. And I got that picture, and I was shaking his hand, and man, I was like a big giant tub. But he let me get a part in there in his movie. Well, the director allowed me to get a part in the movie to actually shoot and almost kill him in my BMW that I had at the time, in front of me and my significant other's home at the time, which was in East Oak Lane. All right, so yeah, that was really cool. That wasn't my first time acting, though. That's why they let me do it, because they knew I've been an actor before. But that was really cool. Very good, much fun, but I was big at one time. I lost a 7-year-old. You say 7-year-olds usually weigh about 70, 80 pounds. Well, that's what I lost, 80 pounds. And I've seen other people do it. I've seen other people become healthier. I've seen people starve themselves. And I've seen people just, like myself, just try to just let it drop off and work out a little bit and whatever. And that's what I did. And I thank heaven that I'm still here to really talk about it. And let's address that real quick before we start talking to the 10 and 30-year-olds. Actually, 10 to 30, maybe 10 to 35. So make sure you grab them, or maybe you want to screen this video first and then let them see it. Because a lot of you, whether you a father or a mother, unfortunately may be a little upset at what I'm going to say. Because it may put you in a position to look like you're not handling your business with your own children. And if you have adult children, I'm not calling them children, or you're adults, okay? So you have children, you have teenagers, then you have adults. That's just the way it is. So I'm covering children, teenagers, and adults. I've been it all. And now I'm on grandpa pop status, okay? So that's what it is, all right? So let's stop taking for granted that we wake up in the morning, we're going to be able to see, we're going to be able to smell, we're going to be able to talk, we're going to be able to hear, we're going to be able to walk. Let's stop taking for granted that that's going to happen each and every morning. I think you should. I don't think you should fear the opposite happening, but me listening to a lot of speeches and a lot of commentary and a lot of things, I think that you're more apt to do more with your life if you realize that every day is a gift of life for you. As opposed to taking life for granted, you're going to bed, oh, I know I'm going to wake up being able to see, smell, talk, hear, move, groove, get to work, drive. You just take it for granted. You got people who are doing overtime. Oh, snap, I'm going to get up late. You know, when we do some overtime, I'm going to go home and sleep for 4 hours and I'm going to get up. I know a lot of people used to hustle like that, except when I used to work there. They took for granted that they was going to be able to get up, see, smell, talk, hear, move, groove, drive, work, bam. They took it for granted. Why? I don't know. 'Cause I know most of these people are not even on the spiritual level because I can tell the way they act. But surprises come later on when you get older. Believe me, and I hope that you really would take advantage of every day that you're giving to do something positive. I mean, I haven't been back in the studio in about a week and a half because I really been trying to like, all right, cool, I got the studio up and running the way I wanted, and blah, blah, blah. And I was going through that for a whole month. Just trying to get my studio up and running. It was like crazy. Things was acting foolish. And it was a hot mess. But, see, I already know how to get through to my joint again. I forgot. Okay, here we go. I'm using different remotes now. I changed everything up. And after I changed everything up, then I stopped coming back here because I felt as though everything was working. So, yeah, all right, whatever. I'm good now. So, yeah. But, you know, everything is now working. I hope. Let's see if the computer come on. That would be a start. Come on. You can do it. Oh, I got to wake it up. I got to wake the computer up. And still giving you time to get yourself settled. And I have to work, so I'm not going to be talking an extra super duper long time. We're not doing that. It's actually going to be maybe 30 minutes or less, because it doesn't take a lot to tell a story if it's true. All right. And sometimes it could be complicated because I haven't written anything down to have like on poster boards, like, okay, I'm going to talk about that and I'm going to talk about that. I just come off the top of the cuff on a rough. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm going to do this video. So let's start again by looking at how we go about life and the children or adults that we have in our life that we raise to try to get them motivated. You are well aware there's a lot of crime going on, and us as people, I'm talking about people of color, there's a lot of crime going on, there's a lot of things happening, and unfortunately for us, it affects us sometimes not at all. We can look at all the things that's happening around everywhere right now and really seeing that, hey, that ain't me. So if that ain't me, then it ain't me. If nobody's shooting up my house, if nobody's robbing me, if nobody's trying to take my possessions away from me, then I don't have a concern. Well, that's not cool, because that's not really the way we should live our life. We should live our life knowing that at any time, there could be the possibility that we get caught up in a situation whereas we are we can't get out of. I mean, we just saw the situation, a poor example I might say, because I'm not talking about maybe people of color here. But I think what I'm talking about is the dude or the woman or whatever this psychologically mixed up dude, he was a dude trying to be a honey or something like that. He wouldn't shout up a Catholic church. How y'all doing? Hi, I can see y'all now. I can see y'all. I got. And by the way, I have YouTube up. It's above y'all, and you guys are down here Facebook. Not saying you Facebook is above. I got like this Velcro down here. I can put my phone on and put it there, and I can do my thing. All right. So anyway, so he went in and shot up a bunch of kids. Now this is not the first time this ever happened. I mean, we have school shootings. We have all that, and I think that we've become complacent to the fact that we think, well, that's not going to happen to us. Just like I just said, you just assume you're going to wake up and you're going to see, smell, talk, hear, move, groove, do your thing. You take it for granted. And a lot of you don't even pray for it. In fact, a lot of you don't even pray when you get up in the morning and thankful to the Most High that you've gotten to that point. I do it all the time because I'm in tune with where I need to be in my life. And that's why I feel very confident in speaking on what I speak on because, again, I'm different. I'm just a different guy. I say, I'm different from most men. I don't do the things most men. I'm not in a men's club. I don't do secret societies. I don't get down like that. My only club I'm invested in is the Heavenly Club. And though I'm nowhere near heavenly, I think I'm always striving to get there as best I can and to respect myself and everybody around me as being heavenly. A lot of my friends know I don't use profanity. Unless maybe I get a little sip in, somebody get me a little upset, I might squeeze out a couple just to make sure I can say them right. Because I might mess around and use profanity now and say it all wrong. I don't know. Children, don't use profanity. I mean, again, I can't say not to because whether you're in between 10 and 35, you're going to use profanity probably. I mean, at one point, because I did between them ages. But again, this video is for 10 to 30. And I don't mind adults watching it as well. Because if I can't talk to your children directly, or if they don't want to, let's go check out, Mr. Rod's video or something like that. Because, again, I had pictures when I was at Cheltenham Elementary School. I got pictures on the wall I can show you right now of all the children who drew pictures when they realized I was an artist and that I can draw and so on and so forth. I used to go to art classes and I would draw and do my thing. When they realized I can draw, and I drew this one, I drew my man. I was like, where's this picture at? Oh, yeah, I gave it to him. His name was, Lonnie, it was something like that. Caucasian young guy. And I drew a picture of him, and then not only did he come back and draw a picture of me, and it was really chocolatey when he drew it, but not only that, his mother made me some buttered popcorn, and I don't eat butter, but I took the suggestion and I ate it. All right? She made buttered popcorn over there, and blah, 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 and the principal gave me a pair of socks. So, and the children loved me. From kindergarten to 4th grade. Because I stayed more at Cheltenham Elementary School than I did the other schools. I did Myers, I did Wincote. I got punched in the back of Wincote by a young man. He had autism. I became a paraprofessional. I got to take the hits. Children with autism sometimes will smack you upside the back of your head, and you ain't going to know it's coming. It happened to me. That's okay. That's okay. And I got stories while I'm not there anymore, but it don't matter. We're talking about I have credentials that I've worked with children from kindergarten, and I'm working right across the street at Cedarbrook Middle School. And they love me too. So they look at me as grandpop over there because I think the older the children are, the older you look to them. It's really weird. It's really weird. Because when I was there, I was just doing hallway monitoring, or sometimes I go in the library, sometimes I got to do this, I got to do that. I was just all over the place. They look at, grandpa. But when I'm with the elementary school kids up to 4th grade, they look at me as Mr. Fit, Mr. Style, Mr. So it's different. It's crazy that the younger children look at me more as somebody that was close to their age than the older children that looked at me as more far away from their age. But I think it's the way I carry myself and the way I speak to people in general. I don't want to call them all children because they are someone's child, but at some point they are somebody's adult as well. So we're going to talk about the adults in the room later from 20 to 35. We're going to deal with that situation as well. So the only way I can do this as I was saying in my mind, when I was doing my prayer, I thought, how can I relate this and try to get people not to be offended, but also tell a part of my life that's something that I feel embarrassed about. So let's get with it. My name is Raj. You don't need to give you my what you call me. I grew up in a nice family. I grew up with a father who hustled, had his own barbecue place down on Susquehanna Avenue, 18th and Susquehanna. So if you live in North Philly, you know anything about 18th and Susquehanna, way back then in 1963, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 1974, I think he bought the business, I think, in like 1969, and he kept it until 1974. It started getting bad down there. But anyway, my father was always a hustler, and my mom was always a caretaker. She would take care of the family, then she'd take care of church members, she would take care of this. My mother never used profanity, she never touched me and my sister ever, never yelled at us. She like, will your daddy be home shortly? That's all you had. I can do anything I want. I almost burnt down the house one time. I'm telling y'all youngsters, I ain't nowhere near Angel. Yo, I used to do stupid stuff, right? But I was also a little sissy sometimes too, right? There's times I was scared to go outside because somebody was bullying me, man. And I would stay in the crib. My dad had come up one time. I remember one time he came up to me. And somebody had bullied. I think the guy had stole my bike too. And his brother is still around. And I told him, if I see your brother, his name was Gene. He stole my bike. And he took it. It used to be yellow. And he painted brown. And my dad saw that bike on the porch one day. He came with him and got my bike. He came home with my bike. Is this your bike? Yeah. Because he saw a little bit of yellow in there. He found that bike. Dude used to bully me. I said, tell your brother, if I ever see him, I'll hold a freaking 50-year grudge. I'm going to whip his behind when I see him. Hey, he might be more fit than me, though. I might have to change my mind. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, there was times I was kept in the crib by dudes in the street. I ain't like to fight. I wanted to fight her. That's not what I did. I was an intellectual. I'm reading like freaking books, Sunday papers. I'm reading encyclopedias because my father bought me and my sister Encyclopedia Britannicas so we could read encyclopedias. A lot of money back then. But my dad was a hustler. He did what he had. I'll tell you another thing about me. I used to be cockeyed. Yeah, my eyes used to be over here. I used to be cockeyed. But my father, he had a regular job, but he also had his hustle. So he uncockeyed me. I used to be pigeon-toed. One of I think my right leg used to be pigeon-toed. Now I walk like Denzel Washington when I model. I'm not saying, but he took care of that for me. He didn't let me walk around like that. I've seen children walk around bow legs. Why couldn't it? That could have been done. That could have been fixed. Believe me. If you're gonna fix a cockeyed 7-year-old with pigeon toes like that, then you can be fixed. It's just that some parents are totally irresponsible to their children. And that's why their children end up being how they are. Whether they're afflicted with some kind of disease, whether they're afflicted with this or that, or whatever it is. My father made sure that was taken care of. My mom wasn't working. My mom was a homemaker. My mom stayed home until he opened up that barbecue store, and then she did that barbecue store on Friday and Saturday. Other than that, my mom took care of me, took care of my sister, took care of her people, and took care look. And unfortunately for a lot of you there, you don't have a husband or a baby daddy around. And I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I think it takes a village to raise a child. And I never had any children. But I've raised 3 children through 2 marriages. Helped raise. I tried to anyway. I tried to be a good dad. I ain't tried to be the dad that, okay, well, that guy wasn't taking care of you or whatever, so I'm going to take care of you and put you on my benefits and whatsoever. That's what I did, because it reminded me of what my dad did for me. So if I'm with a woman, and I understand it's a package deal for the 2 women that I married, and they had a son, and the second one had a son and a daughter, and the daughter went on to be a principal, and when she see this, she going to be saying, hey, Pop. I haven't seen my stepdaughter in probably 2006 maybe, was it 6, maybe 16? Maybe 2006. So I haven't seen my stepdaughter probably, it's 25 now, 2010, maybe 15 lead. But I see her on the internet. I see her on Instagram whatsoever. And she said something one time, and I was like, yeah. I said, you're doing very good. She's like, because of you, Pop. And I'm not even a father. But she gave me credit, almost made me cry. Because I know I ain't seen her in so long. And we've been through some things, because they were in my family. But I know I had to do that. If I'm going to marry moms, and then Pop ain't doing the gig, and Pop don't want to get along with me because I'm doing a little bit better than Pop, then Pop should have just came with me. Oh, bro, what can I do? What can I do to help? But see, the problem with men nowadays is, two, they don't want another man involved with their children, even though they're not taking care of their children. They're not even taking care of their children. They don't send nothing, no child support, no name for nothing. But if I walk into the life of the woman and all of a sudden now I'm a problem. You see what I'm saying, youngsters? And the mothers, and the older adults who are not children. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. But that's just the way it went. So I'm like, all right, cool, and the thing about it is, when I got my first marriage, I knew the father of the son I was taking care of. Because we both played music. And that's how I met her, because she used to play in the band that we had together. So it was really close for me to really get involved with her. But we was together for 7 years. We were still doing common law. And then her mother said, y'all got to get married because you should be married. Because you're doing common law anyway. 7 years, marry my daughter. Okay, we got married. But it didn't help because we was better off 7 years not being married than we were in the 2 years that we weren't. Crazy. But it didn't make a difference. All I know is I had to help take care of a child when I could. If I could put them on benefits, I did when I got married. But she had a job too. It wasn't like she didn't have a job. Second marriage, a little bit different. My wife was an entrepreneur, but necessarily getting benefits. I knew if I married her, I had to put on benefits, and I had to put the children on there. But he could have said, well, nah, man, just out of pride. Man, you don't need to put my children on no benefits, dog. I got this. Well, that never happened. So I did what I had to do. I put them on myself, the benefits. That's just how I do. Now, I don't know about the sperm donors a lot of you have, and I got that because a woman told me, my good friend Jay, ain't gonna say her name, she called her children's father a sperm donor. That's all he was. He was a sperm donor. And that was, he was done. Every now and then, he'd peek back in to see what's popping, see if they give mom another shot. Other than that, they ain't interested in that. And I'm sorry to say it like that for you youngsters from 10 to 1, but that's what it is. I ain't say that, I said a shot. Now, you could ask your mama what a shot is if you need to at that particular point, but you may not have to ask that because it makes sense. And I want you youngsters to know, if your father is not in your life, whether you're 10 or whether you're 30 to 35 or more, whatever, if your father was never in your life, maybe unfortunately he had an illness, he wasn't around, maybe he just didn't really care. Maybe he just did what he did. I don't know what it is, but you're going to have to learn how to deal with that. You can't let that be an excuse for you to go out here and be shooting people, stealing, robbing, cohorting, converting, and whatever. And at the worst case, doing it to make sure mom got some money so she can go to the club and buy her outfit. You got to stop this. Don't do that. I've always had a father. My father and mother were together until my mom passed. They were together for 55 years. That's never going to happen these days. Ain't going to happen for me because I'm not going to live to be 120 years old. But I'm saying that's not an excuse for you to make a point to want to act like you want to be daddy for your mother. In other words, you, instead of saying, not the youngsters, I'm talking about the older adults now, that because dad's not around to tap in with you and say, yo, how you doing, son? You all right? Everything good? Let's get together. Let's go and have a beer. I mean, I never drank a beer with my father. We never did that. He drank all the beer in the world. He's a beer drinker, which probably made me not want to drink beer that much when I got older. But I did because I went in the Navy, I had to drink beer. Anyway, enough of that. My dad was there. And whether we was in not agreeing with each other, whether I've done some dumb stuff, my dad was there. Where you gonna go? He's married to my mother. And older people back then didn't get divorces. They didn't wait till, oh, you stepped on my toe, I want a divorce. That's crazy. And maybe you may want to ask your mother. It would be tough for her to let you look at this video when I say this. You should ask your mother why your daddy's not around. Because that way it will make you stronger. It won't make you angry at him because it shouldn't. Because if he's not here, he's not here. If he's not involved by now, He know you've been around for 10 to 35 years, and he's still here. Like some father may have passed, might be somewhere that he had to go to, and serving a little bit of time somewhere. I don't know, but you should ask that, because you can't use that excuse for you not to be able to try to play daddy now because you didn't have a daddy raising you. You can't be your mother's daddy. That's not gonna work. She might want you to be her husband, especially if she's single. She might want to keep you around. And I'm just keeping it real, because I know sisters who have older adults that's still living with them. And that's up to them. That's their thing. I would never live with my mother. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Even through all I went through in my life, I just couldn't see myself doing that. If my father was not around, I just couldn't see myself doing it. Like, I'm gonna take care of your mom because dad's not around. Do not think that way. If you're 10 years old, don't do it. You keep thinking about independence. You keep thinking about how you want to get out. Because a lot of you are just in a jail. A lot of you are not going to be allowed to get out and do something that's going to be outside of that house. Unfortunately, that's real talk. I know it's real talk. Because I know I've heard it. I've heard some other, man, I got to stay, man, because my mom might need me. Or, just trying to find excuses to stay home. You can go get an apartment close by. You can go do what you got to do and still be close enough that if mom needs you, get your behind around the corner, son. Because it'll be easy for you to say, all right, cool. Mom live right here. Let me get something no more than 10 minutes away. And concentrate on doing that and live there. See, the problem with a lot of our people of color who are still living with their parents at a certain age is that they feel as though if they leave mom gonna get mad and then they ain't gonna be able to get the luxuries and what's called that they would get if they had stayed home. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You probably can get more not living with your mother. And I'm not saying fathers, because the father's gonna put you out anyway. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you the story about me. But your father gonna put you out. He's not gonna let you stay in the house past 20. Playing video games. I don't even care if you go to college. You just got to live at the college. Because he's gonna make you get out there and hustle. And I'm talking about robbing people, stealing, and killing, and just selling drugs. No, he's gonna make you get out there and get a good job. So let me tell you what my dad wanted me to do. Because I was highly educated, because I knew a lot, and my dad would bring me up through charter schools. You know what I mean? And then I ended up going to Central High. I was a very smart individual back in the day because I felt as though I wasn't really a fighter. Even though I was out in the street, I can play football, I can rock, I can play basketball, I can skate, I know how to play pool. I can do all that. There's really nothing I can't do. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to prove to my father, no matter how young I was, even when I was running the street acting a fool when I should have been, that I can do anything I want to do. And become really good at it. My father didn't even know that would have been a beautiful thing to me and my dad could have sat there and played pool. I would have whipped his behind. And I play pool. That's what I do. Ping pong. Want to play ping pong? I'm slamming all day. All day. Because I stayed in the rec center. I stayed doing things that kept me active, kept me around my friends, and kept me out of trouble. Okay? I lived on Fox Street in North Philly. They had a club, they had a playground called Panatti. And I forgot his name, Doc. And Doc used to run Panatti. He taught us how to play ping pong. He used to kick my butt for years. I got pretty good. Take that back. Take that back. What you got? Take that back. I don't want to take that back. You know what I'm saying? Taught us how to play ping pong. Basketball is something you just get in the street. You learn, just playing. But for the most part, Panatti was on 22nd. Let's say it was on 22nd Street where the 33 runs. 22nd and Clearfield. In between Lippincott and Clearfield, that was Panatti. I went by there the other day, by the way, and they redoing the whole thing. They building a building there or something. Probably an apartment building, more likely. And that's what I learned. Our objectives back there in the 70s were to be the best basketball player. We didn't have any video games. We ain't had no internet. Be the best basketball player. Be the best ping pong player. Be the best halfies. We used to play halfies. Kids don't play halfies nowadays. Hey, what's halfies, Mr. Raj? Halfies is when you go and you go buy a ball, rubber ball, and then you cut it in half. And you got halfies. And you pitch your halfies and you just go get a broomstick. And you use the broomstick to hit the Halfies. And man, we had it right around the corner. There was a Halfie place, and there was a factory. It was called the factory. The factory was tall. Man, I was smacking them joints over the roof on a Halfie roof, and then we go to another place play Halfies. See, this is what we were doing when we grew up, and our mothers and fathers could trust that we would go out and we'd come back in without any stuff happening. Now, from time to time, we played hide and seek when it got dark at the 7 o'clock, and we were in the alley trying to get some grind. I mean, look, it is what it is. Now, 10-year-old, 10 to 19, forget I said that. I'm just telling you what I did as a child as I came up. All right? And again, I never got beat up because I never went out to fight because I wasn't a fighter. I was a sissy. I didn't want to fight. But I had people who fought for me. So that goes to show you got to think. You got to think. You got to think. You might have somebody bullying you. I had this guy named Bruce Brown. Yeah, I'm going to say his name. Bruce Brown used to take my money and give it to his girlfriend. Now, her name was Colette. I liked Colette. This is elementary school. Again, I can relate. I was doing elementary school just now. And I like to tell them stories too. It's elementary school, right? And I used to be a little thief, right? I used to steal my dad quarters and stuff. I used to steal money out of my mom's pocketbook. I was a raw thief, man. Always stealing, but steal, because I wanted to look like I was, only way I think I can get honey is I'm stealing money, right? So I'm my mom's pocketbook. I wasn't taking nothing big. I take like a quarter or something like that. One time I took more than that though. I took like a buck. Took a buck out my mom's pocketbook. I ain't really tell you this story. I'm just telling you, I used to be a little thief. I used to steal from my mom, right? But I ain't go kill nobody and steal money from them or go into some freaking Macy's and steal stuff off a rack and nothing like that. I mean, but I'm just saying. Maybe from 7 to 10, maybe. A little thief. Still pocketbook. I know my mom knew money was missing. But the one time when they was at, here's the story. The one time when they was at the barbecue store on 18th and Susquehanna, Homeboy Barbecue Pit, my mom put her purse, that was crazy. Two situations. I went in her purse, man, I just grabbed a whole bunch of money, right? So I went down to Susquehanna, 16th and Susquehanna had a 5 and dime. So I went down there and I bought some games. Now at that time, I used to have a nanny. Her name was Nanny. She used to take care of me on Diamond Street. And it was crazy. So one day I stole the money out of my mom's pocketbook, and I went down there. I said, give me that game, give me that game. They're like, where you get all that money from? I'm like, my mom gave it to me. Mom gave it to me. I think that's what I said. It's been a long time. 60 years. Not 60, 50 years. Anyway, it was maybe something. I must have said something like, my mom gave it to me. I wasn't working, so I could have did that. I mean, even if I was working at the store with my mom and them, every now and then they make me put the pickles in a pickle jar. I would do something down there, get the french fries ready, in the store. But most part, when I'm out in the street, I'm supposed to be with Miss Nanny, or my nanny, and I'll be out in the street. So I stole the money, went to what's called, I'm buying all kinds of stuff, and then I go to Nanny's house. So Nanny was like, where you get all these games from? And Nanny was really small, thin. I remember she wear glasses. And I was like, yeah. And I said, my mom gave it to me. 5 seconds later, that's me. Nanny donked me out, and my pop whipped my behind till I had no more skin on my butt. You stealing? Stealing, man. Let's be a thief. Let's be a thief. What a problem telling you that? Because I don't want you to be a thief. I don't want you stealing from your mother. I don't want you feeling as though you have to steal to make yourself look better and bigger than the other children that you're around. It's not even worth it, yo. It's not worth doing anything. It's not worth you if you're your teenage years. 15, 16-year-olds out here, they just showed this 15, 16-year-old, they stole this guy. This guy had a Maserati. It wasn't no big-time Maserati. He was a regular garbage Maseratis. They don't last for 5 minutes. I'm surprised they stole it and ran down the street and got down the street. They stole the Maserati. They doing $130. Him and his 2 boys, they're looking for some cars to rob. The car was open and the keys was in the seat. Now, who does that? Well, karma is a mofo. Karma's a mofo. They got what they was looking for. They got in the car. They took off. Wasn't no police chasing them. For some reason, they driving 1 billion miles an hour. The police wasn't chasing them, but the helicopters was over top because they noticed them a long time ago that they was perusing the neighborhood. So that they saw them, but no cops was chasing them. Just the helicopter was telling them where the car was. Man, dude lost control, swiveled this way just a little bit. It's on the internet. It's on YouTube. Swiveled a little bit like that, swiveled this way, and then must have hit the curb. Went up in the air, hit a sign, came down, upside down, all three dead. Is it worth stealing the car? Is it worth breaking into somebody's house? And I can't show you this, but you best not come in here. You just saw that part. And then my friend would say that part. Yeah. Come in if you want. I got one in every room. So if you decide you want to come in here and try to build a studio, first of all, you'll never get in here. Secondly, you'll never get out of here. I even had to be in here to give you what you need to take back home or wherever you're going to end up after I give you what you need. You can't get out of here with anything anyway. It's got 5,000 cameras. I got 25 cameras in here. I'm like Scarface. So, if you want to steal from me, it ain't going to work. Now, you can say, well, you stole from your mom, so we're going to steal from you. No, that's good. But you see what I'm saying? There's no need to steal. I used to be a thief. Now look at me. I used to pee in the bed. I was a bed pisser. Man, I can piss up a bed. Boy, I can piss up a bed. It was a mental thing I was going through. Now, a lot of you might be going through something mental. I don't think it was autism or anything like that. I don't think I was ever diagnosed with that or with some of these things that are out now that may be affecting children. I'm not going to let it be your excuse, though. Because it wasn't my excuse, just pissing up the bed. Man, I pee up a bed. Yeah, bed up. That's all I would do. I'd pee a bed up. Change sheets, blah, 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 pee stains all over the place. By the time I got back home from school, it was still pee in the bed. My father didn't really used to beat me about that. I think somehow maybe he used to pee in the bed and maybe he didn't tell me. It was inherited. We're just a family of bed pissers. I don't know. But I know I used to piss in bed. Do I piss in the bed now? No. I'm pissing in bed now. You piss in bed. I used to steal. I used to be a thief. Am I a thief now? No. Not a thief now. Anything you're going through now that's on a negative tip, you're going to go through some embarrassing things. You know what I mean? You don't go out and you don't want to fight and then you stealing money to give to this guy's girlfriend. That's why Bruce Brown was stealing my money, by the way. He was stealing my money because he knew I had money because I stole the money out of my dad's sock. He had all these quarters, which probably be worth a bunch of money right now. I should have stolen them and kept them. You know what I mean? Silver is up. 95% silver. 90% silver is a lot of money. I got a few coins. But anyway, he used to catch up with me before I got to school, and he would steal the money from me. So I would take the money from my pop sock, or maybe at my mom's wallet. I don't know, whatever. And he would just steal it back. Now, did he give it back to my pop? Mom, no. He knew I was giving it to his girlfriend, Colette. And he just took it and gave it to her instead. Let's go there, buy a bag of chips at lunch. Recess, we can go right across the street. We had the store right across the street from the school, Whittier. I used to go to Whittier, 27th and Clearfield. And the school was right across the street. So I was like, she comes and say, you want some money so you can buy some chips? Sure. Give her the money, go buy some chips. And then Bruce would come over, her boyfriend. And again, remember, we're in elementary school, believe it or not. This is Whittier Elementary School. So hey, it is what it is. What age is that? From 6 to friggin' what? 6 to 9? 6 to 10? Whatever. So elementary school, 6 to 12. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I'm stealing from mom, and he's stealing from me, and then he give it to his girl. I never could make it there fast enough just to give it to her, except a couple of times. He might have hooky school or something. I used to hooky school. I had to hooky school so freaking bad. I did hooky school when I was in elementary school, though. And I really didn't hooky school that much when I used to go to E. Washington Roads. So if anybody, I'm mentioning schools, if y'all live in North Philly, E. Washington Roads, 29th and Clearfield. And, did I hooky? I didn't really hooky that much. Actually, when I was no, I didn't hooky that much because that's how I ended up getting, they wanted me to go to Central, or they wanted me to go to Penn Charter, because I was doing 8th grade work in 7th grade. So, and listen, I was tutoring. All the time I was in 8th grade in E. Washington Road Middle School, I was a tutor. I was tutoring people. I had to go to no classes. I get there in the morning. They let me be on TV. I would do the day's news, all that stuff. That's how I got to be who I am now, right? They did it. I was in E. Washington Road Middle School. And in the 7th grade, I had passed all the prescribed classes. I could just went right to high school right there. But they said they kept me there to tutor the students in the 8th grade. So coming in the morning, you're going to see me on TV. How y'all doing? Whatever they told me to say. And then we'd do the news. I'd do the weather and stuff like that. And then I come down, I'm tutoring kids for the rest of the day. That's in 8th grade. So then they said, well, we want you to go to Central. Now, Central is still a pretty good school now, I don't know. But right next to Girls High, which was a high-end school as well. So then they said about Penn Charter, but I didn't want to go Penn Charter because I thought there'd be a whole bunch of Caucasian kids there and I wouldn't be able to relate. I should have went there. Because when I went to Central, I ain't never go to school. Why didn't I go to school? Didn't want to go to school. Because it was an all-boys school, and Central and Girl High was an all-girls school right down the street. I used to be around the honeys. I'm in middle school. I got all the girls, because I'm smart. I'm doing everything I need to do, because I'm smart. I got all the honeys. They want to be around me. They want to be around me. I help with your homework, whatever. Yo, I'm with the honeys. So when I got in high school, now I'm not around no women in every class. First class was history. That I need to be doing is learning history as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't doing no freaking history. That ain't popping. Not doing history, yo. So that what really kept me out. So then I wanted to be in a music program. Now at that time I was playing music. Now I was in a band, had a couple of bands. You know, 1 year, all of us on our block, Justin Street, we decided to ask our parents to buy some instruments. And that was when around 12, 13 years old. And they did. My father didn't want to buy me nothing though. My father wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer. Because my doctor, my father never went past 6th grade. My father's father owned his own property down in North Carolina. So his father made him skip school and made him come up there and pick cotton with the rest of the people. I didn't pick that cotton. That's why my dad was a hustler. That's why my dad worked at his job under the table for years. 4 o'clock in the morning, he'd get up when he moved us up to Northwest Philly at the time, which is 24th and Allegheny, Justin Street. He used to go 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, get up in the morning, go get on the train up there on 22nd in Allegheny, drive the regional rail in the Hatboro, and he was a presser. He worked in the cleaners. Presser, blah, 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 blah. And he also did alterations. So every time I used to get some clothes, he'll alter them. Stand up, put in, he would alter them. I understand that I was privileged not only to steal from my parents, but to still have them and pee in the bed all the time and whatever else. But they still loved me enough that my dad would whip that behind, and man, he used to whip it. And he used to cuss at the same time. He was profanity king. He was profanity king. He used a lot of cuss words, especially when I almost burnt down the house. I'll tell you about that story. I don't know how I was. How old was I when I almost burnt down the house? So I used to be a firebug. I had this fascination with freaking fire, man. I like fire, right? And then one time I think I was 9 years old, and I had some matches. And I was on Judson Street. And there's an old abandoned car down there. I forgot what I remember it was gray. And my dumb behind lit a match and put it down the gas tank. And all I felt was, thank goodness my mother prayed for me. The reason I'm here is my mother prayed for me. I did a lot of my life stupid stuff that shouldn't even be here. But my mother prayed hard, each and every day, throughout the day. My mother prayed for our family. She prayed for her family. She prayed for friends. She prayed for everything. That's why I said that's the only angel I've ever known in my life. Never said a cuss word. Never had to have furs, diamond ring, all that stuff. She didn't like that stuff. My mom walked around barefoot all day in the house. If she had to go out, she would probably walk barefoot when you at the house because she's from Rennes, Georgia. Rennes, Georgia's the dirt hills back up there. She grew up walking on dirt and clay. And she never got the country out of it. Even though my dad was showering her with gifts. My mom was beautiful. Showering her with gifts. My pop ain't gonna be with nobody ain't beautiful. He don't settle. He like me. We ain't settling. I got that from him. They don't settle. Better be by yourself than settle. All you gonna do is find out you don't, and what you gonna waste time. All right. So anyway, that's how I was. Pop was a disciplinarian. My mom was the love. She made sure I was cool. Put the mask down in there. All I felt was, poof. That's all I remember was feeling. And I like jumped back. either thank heaven, it wasn't an abandoned car. It was on the block. It was on Justice Street. Thank goodness that thing was not filled with gas. Or maybe it was. And mom prayed me out the way. I don't know. She was in the house. I'm down Middle Street, striking matches, I was firebug. Firebug. Well, another story? Okay, I ain't got to leave out for work till 1 o'clock. I ain't doing nothing. I was going to go do this. I got to do that. Go to the shop. Give me some chips for my guacamole later on for my dinner. But, yeah, I just keep on going. Because I want to do anything I can to inspire the children to tell you, no matter what you've done, whatever you go through, pissy bad, stealing, whatever, you still, if you have the right parents or parent, whether it's just your mother, just your father, maybe you got both of them, they arguing all the time, they fighting all the time. Whatever it is, no matter, yo. Man, it's all about the heavenly. I ain't care about no heavenly. I know my mom did, though. My mom made me praying. Now you lay me down in the street, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Now she died before I wake. I pray the Lord my soul to take. Had us praying. Do your parents pray with you? Do your parents pray for you even though you're older? Because some of you still live with your parents, and you are older. Have you ever got on your knees and prayed with your parents? Or are you just a rebel rouser? Or you just a moocher? I'm going to say what I got to say. Because I need to motivate you to stop being dependent upon things. Like, you can have friends that you might need. Because people need stuff from me from time to time. You know what I mean? Not a lot about money because I'm retired. I don't have as much money as I used to have. But it might say, can I come use your studio? I want to do a song. Okay, instead of charging you $35 an hour, come on in. I help you out. I even help you with the song. I even give you a track. I got something to give back besides moolah because I have talent. And more times, I can give somebody more talent so they can make money than to give them money and then they just blow the money. You see what I'm saying? So, no matter how old you are, you've always got potential to do whatever you think you can do. Or do everything you want to do. You can do it. And a lot of times, everything that I learned to do, whether it came from playing music, you know, being a studio musician, being a Grammy guy, all that stuff. I did that stuff like not really thinking about doing it. Like it just came to mind, right? Especially the Grammy thing, you know. And I know y'all can relate to Grammys. Y'all see Grammys, right? And I ask a lot of people I know, how many Grammy members you know? And they'll sit there and try to think like they know one. Instead of saying, oh, I don't even know you, bro. Quickly. You know, what I mean, not who you see on TV or somebody. So how many Grammy friends do you have that are Grammy members? And believe it or not, there'll be people of color that'll try to act like they know somebody who's a Grammy member. But they never do. They only know me. Don't let anybody, if you're trying to go against your success, whether you're 10 to 35, don't nobody tell you, don't nobody bring you down. Because a lot of people, even your parents sometimes, will bring you down just to hold you down because some parents are insecure. They got to this level and as far as they're going. And they want to keep you at that level, if not lower. Because if you go above them, and then you like, oh shoot, I got this, I got that, mom, I'm out to take care of you. Unless you're like a football player, a college football player. You know, when they go out, you know, moms are taking to football practice all the time, dad, whatever, and now they making money. Now, okay, that's cool, I got that, bam, because that's positive. But if you don't get a chance, everybody don't get to be a football player, basketball player making $1 million a year. And you can make $1 million a year and then be broke. We've seen them stories just recently happen, right? But it's not about the money, it's about how much you can do that you can say you're proud of doing. You see what I'm saying? Money can always be rectified. It can always be compromised. But talent, something you can do, and only a few of you can do, or maybe a lot of you can do. And maybe you don't have to make money from it. You just have a talent. Learn how to draw on your spare time. Put down the video games. Put down the TikTok, flip, flop, flip. Try to be a capper. There's just too many cappers on here trying to act like they're somebody and they ain't really nobody. So they're using social media to become somebody. Instead, turn off the social media and become somebody. See, it's easy to try to become somebody when you think you got a whole group of people looking at you. And some of these people talking about you behind your back, how silly you look. And some of them say, okay, that person really doing something. But you shouldn't have to rely on anybody telling you anything. I ain't had to rely on anybody and me investing all the money I invested to always having studios. And this is my smallest studio. This is my small studio I ever had. I've had bigger studios. I had bigger places to put the studio. But don't let nobody tell. Get you a talent. Learn how to do something. You know what I mean? I mean, especially drawing. I mean, drawing, you don't have to be an excellent drawer. I will show you some pictures I drew. I got pictures here I drew. I was in art class and I drew this young lady with a bun on her head, with a hoodie. They got my name RaJuR walk on across it. But I don't feel like taking all this down to show it to you. Maybe I'll take a picture of it later on and put it up. But I know how to draw a long time ago. I used to stay at my cousin's on the weekend sometimes. I had to go down to the barbecue store when I was growing up. My cousin Johnny used to take me to Fitzsimon's. If you guys know Philly know about Fitzsimon's. He used to take me to Fitzsimon's on Saturday. It wasn't every Saturday. I think like 2 Saturdays weren't open. But they had art class there. And when I first started learning how to draw, I used to draw apples. And the first thing I learned how to draw was apples in a basket. Apples in a basket. I can do that. I do that in my head now. I draw apples in a basket all day. Fancify the basket, different fruits. I can do that all day. I can do that just smelling it, right? But then when we used to leave, because he was really good. Did I holler at him, Johnny, there? I texted him not too long ago. He lives down Virginia now. Anyway, and I told him, I used to cry one time. I went to visit him. I said, man, you don't know how much you influenced my life. Because he wasn't really my cousin per blood. My mother's brother married his mother. So we weren't even blood. But he would take me to Fitzsimon and learn how to draw. And I went down there maybe 2-3 years ago. I said, man, I almost went to tears. I was like, bro, if it wasn't for you, man, I mean, because that really touched my heart, that he took the time to take me, his brother, a rebel rouser, but his brother did kind of teach me how to play, be tough, fight. His brother, I still didn't fight, but I did know how to draw. Anyway. I said, man, if it wasn't for you, bro, I don't know where I've been kind of coming up in life, because that was the very first talent that I realized I had. I knew how to draw. I knew I can picture something in my head and get close and draw. So then we used to leave and we'd go to the Five and Dime, which was right across the street from their crib. It was on Lehigh Avenue. They lived on 26th and Lehigh at the time, little apartment. And there was a Five and Dime store right across the street that sold comics. So once we used to leave Fitzsimon from learning how to draw that day, because we had art. It wasn't just him. We had art. People teaching you how to draw. Like, it was a class. We used to go and get Iron Man, Spider-Man, all these cartoons. We've got get all the comics, and we just start trying to draw them. I'm drawing Spider-Man. I'm drawing Superman. I'm drawing the heroes. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. We had a social media thing where everybody out here is trying to be somebody they're not. And it doesn't make any sense. And now you go to YouTube and put up children killing children. Plenty of videos. I think it's called, what is the name of this channel? Something Crimes. You got kids killing their mothers, kids killing each other over gang stuff, and then it got to the point that they doing it on Facebook Live or something like that. And Facebook leaving it up. I mean, and I probably will leave it up too, just as a reminder. Now, some of them on YouTube, they're supposed to take them down because it's gun violence or whatsoever, but this guy named Tug, who just recently got shot, and they talking about him like he was a freaking hero. He was a drug dealer. But they talking to him like he was a hero. Tug was a hero. Tug did the clubs. No, Tug was a drug dealer, and he went around showing his diamonds and all this stuff. And then they came to take it, but they ain't what they killed. All right, I don't want to talk about that. I want to say the K word. I'm saying to you, I got the phone on every day because I got to do a business. I got to know what's going on business-wise. I got to advertise what I do. I got to advertise this. I got to advertise that. I got to show myself doing positive things. I got to show myself being a chauffeur. I was doing videos when I was doing the school thing. I'll show video because I'm trying to encourage people. I don't care how old you are, yo. I just think that everybody has some kind of hidden talent that only you can claim. Because once you have that talent, that's your talent. That's not Jimmy's talent. That's not your mother's talent. That's not your friend's talent. That's not your sister's talent. That's not your cousin's talent. That's your talent. That's something you learned to do. That's something you did that was positive. And then you can teach somebody else to do it. You don't have to teach anybody how to go and kill somebody or steal or murder or don't want to work, just want to stay in the house, or you want to live with your parents all your life. You don't have to teach nobody to do that. They just do stuff like that. I want you to be special. I want you to take the chance and step out. Even if you're 30, 35, 20, 25 years old. Men, especially, step out. Don't be scared. Step out. Eventually you're going to have to. No woman want to be with a dude who's living with his mother, and no man want to be with a woman who got a man living with him. I'm telling you. I keep telling y'all that, and y'all don't want to do it. How many uncles do your kids got to go through? How many boyfriends they got to go through? How many men you got to run in front of your children before you understand that that's not the way you raise your children? Because they're going to do the same thing. Because they don't think because you're doing it and they're with you, they might as well do it too. You gave them carte blanche. My dad didn't teach me how to burn down a house. My dad didn't teach me how to steal from him. My dad didn't teach me how to do anything that didn't make any sense, or neither did my mother. I show how to hustle. That's why I stayed with SEPTA for 36 years. I got my own business, my own LLC. I got that from him. Oh, you ain't rich. I don't need to be rich. I know millions, zillionaires are broke right now. What the rappers y'all used to rippity rap, rip rap, gold and silver. They living on the street now. See, I never wanted money. I never wanted to be rich. I just wanted to be me. That's all you need to be is you. Growing up, just be you. I don't care what it is you want to do. I don't care if it makes you a penny or makes you $1 million. Do what you can do that's different from somebody else in the way they do it. Do that. Go. I never thought I'd be a paraprofessional. I never thought I'd be driving limos and picking up people giving me $100 tips. I knew I'd be doing music though. That's natural. Once I picked up the guitar, it was over. It was over. We used to leave the band down my house because we used to practice at my house, and you used to leave the instruments. When they gone, I'm playing drums. Know how to play drums. And then when they came over, yo, show me how to do that. My man Bill, show me how to do that. That's how I know how to play all the instruments. I took it upon myself to do that. A criminal would have took it upon himself to take the instruments and pawn them and say he don't know what happened. Somebody broke in the house and stole them. There's different mindsets for different ages and different people. But you can't use excuses to get anywhere you want to be in life. You can't do it. I don't care what you got to do. You got big balls, don't steal. But maybe go above. I mean, I'd be short on bills like a mug. Can I borrow a couple dollars? I give it back. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is, you got to become independent in some way. You know? Or you'll be living in your mother's house till you 50. I don't know many women who have their daughters living with them though. The daughters usually bounce. They gone. Whereas the sons will act like they're gonna take care of their mothers, but they lying. They ain't there to take care of their mother. They don't want to have to get a job, pay rent, pay insurance. They just don't want to do that. They might be living with their mother, ain't giving them no money either. I mean, it's just crazy. Look, if you are a man, and if you're 10 years old, I'm going to call you a man. Because I want you to feel like a man. I want you to think like a man. Be a man. Be a man. Be you. Don't let your mom define you. If your father's around, let your father define you. You have to define you. Because when they gone, you ain't going. Well, you know, they go, you going too? You got to define yourself. You got to step out. They ain't going to be around all the time. They're going to leave you being dependent. They're going to leave you can't be in a relationship. Dude, you're going to be in a relationship with a woman because you'll be begging from her. You know, no, I'm here to do this. I got to do it, man. I'm tired of seeing it, man. How Terrence Howard talk. I'm tired of seeing it, man. It don't take nothing to be special to do the best you can and do the best you can. You see what I'm saying? Do the best you can and do the best you can. You can. Don't let nobody try to bring you down. Your own parents will try to bring you down to keep you in check. unless you're a football player and you got $1 million contract and he buys you a house. And all of a sudden he gets a divorce from his wife, and then she takes all the money, and now you can't pay for the house anymore. Look, I'm trying to tell you, talent, thinking, educated, read, try to learn something new every day. Do not wake up and look at the same thing every day. I scroll through TikTok and no TikTok. I'm not with TikTok. Whatever. I scroll through, see a little this, little that. But after that, I'm learning. It's all about learning. I'm trying to learn how to put cars together. I'm these guys who put cars together all the time. They get wrecked cars and rebuild cars. That's my fascination now. Watching these guys put cars back together. I'm learning. I'm not. Should they put Lamborghinis? I never had a Lamborghini. I know the Lamborghini air filter muffler, but I'm looking at them do it. Stop playing video games. This world's gonna get tougher for you when the old heads are no longer here to skate you through. You're gonna have two choices. You're gonna be a victim of the government, and they're gonna be taking care of you until you're gone, and you're just gonna spread that down to your child. It's called a generational curse. If you get a generational curse right now, a 10-year-old have your mother or father might explain that to you. Or you might not have a mother or father, if your aunt, uncle, whoever your guardian is, have to explain to you. That means your family is doing the same thing all the way down the line. If your grandfather went to jail and your daddy went to jail, then you probably going to jail. Because you got to break the curse. And the only way to do that is do something different. Now, my father was never in jail. My father was never a thief. I mean, cussed a little bit, but he always a hustler. I saw that in him. That's how it was easy for me to stay at a job for 36 years. Because I saw it. I saw him go to work for 25 years, get up at 4:30 in the morning, going on to catch regional rail out the hat barrel, pressing clothes whatsoever, come back home, and then he got his business. And now he got his barbecue store. He opens on Friday and Saturday. He doing his business. And we wasn't doing that. When he couldn't do that anymore, he started pressing t-shirts. Oh, you hear about his people pressing t-shirts now, right? My dad, I don't even know what that pressing machine, I don't know what my sister did with that pressing machine. I should have took that pressing machine. He had a pressing machine, and bam, and he used to be outside the house and pressing t-shirts for people. My father never, ever, ever wanted to be a slouch. And neither will I. Neither will I. I'm telling you. You got to start. And if you don't have a father, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Make sure that the next woman you meet and you have a child, that you're there for that child. Don't do the same thing that your father might have done. Do something different. But you got to get away from being taken care of when you get to a certain age. It's just not cool. I'm telling you, no woman want to be with you if you're living with your mother. How you going to get a quality woman unless she's living the same way you living? And now you don't even have a woman. What woman want to be with a man who's living with his mother? Because she ain't got no problem living with her mother. I want a woman who out there doing some business. I want a woman who out there trying to make her own lane. I want to be with her. I don't want to be a woman who's not telling me, why don't you got your mom's house? Why you still living here? Why don't you get your own place? I'm tired of coming to your mom's house. If you ain't got a woman saying that to you, you don't need to be with that woman, even though you're still there. You need somebody to pull you out of there and say, yo, if you're going to be with me, if you want to be with a freaking 10, if you want to hang with 5s, be with 5s. You want to hang with 7 and belows, be with 7 and belows. Well, hang with them. Do your thing. They're going to never respect you. They're going to never trust you. Because the fact that they know they 5s. And you know if you want them, and they don't have nothing to offer you, then both of you stuck in the same trap. So now you got two people who are not motivated to do anything outside of this, sitting in the house, looking at TV, arguing, cussing, and fussing, and that's all you got. Neither one of you got a future. And if you have children together, they just looking at you. And they ain't no more motivated than you are, than to stay right where you are in that place and be subservient to whoever your guardian is. You should not have a guardian once you're past 20 years old. I'm going to say it. By that time, you're either in college, you might come back and dip in for a visit real quick, and you right back out. Because you got things to do. You got things to do. You're a man. You got things to do. Because you're not going to get a quality woman that's living with you. Not. I'm telling you. You're not. And if I'm living with my mother, if it's not an emergency, then I wouldn't even want to be with a woman that want to be with me knowing I live with my mother. Because that means she ain't motivated either. I'll never live in a house with a woman. I'll never move in a woman's house. Never gonna happen. I'll sleep in my car. I'll sleep in my car. I'll sleep in a tent. I'll go to the woods. I got tents and electrical devices around here. I can go out and sleep in a goddamn tent before I move in the house with any woman. And I don't care if I don't have no place to live. I'll never move in the house with a woman. Because she'll probably have a son living there already. Look. 10-year-olds, don't be where you see other people doing what I'm telling you about. They're not people to look up to. Don't look up to them. If that's your father and he's doing that, don't look up to him. Because then your children are going to be hung down there in that rope. The government going to be giving you cheese and checks. Don't do it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And I'll tell this last story to hope it will probably help propel you. I took you through elementary school. I took you through high school, hooky like a mug, all that stuff. Ended up going to the Franklin Learning Center because I wanted to play guitar. My dad didn't talk to me for a good 2 years. I mean, he used to say hi because I'm his son. Other than that, he used to come in the house, he used to say, hey, what? Now he wasn't saying nothing. So my dad wanted me to be a doctor or lawyer because he didn't care about 6th grade. When I started my LLC, he saw my studio, he saw I was making money. I'm giving him my mom money, while I'm down there making money in their basement with my studio. Oh. He see him performing. Oh. He see him a Grammy member. Oh. See, he never thought that for me. Because he really had everything to think for himself. I could have been like my pop. Right? And this, hey, I know, I'm talking about at his age. Picked the field, 6th grade, never got past 6th grade. See what my pop did? He did that. We don't have a generational curse. We got a generational upkeep. Now, my sister has the children. But they still look at me. I barely talk to my niece and nephews. But what they would not hear is that I'm not being a positive brother who's not doing things. I'm a good uncle. But look, I ain't talk to my uncle all the time. When I was growing up, I saw my uncle once a week. My uncle used to run numbers. But he was a hard worker. In fact, him and my dad worked together. They did the same thing. Pressing, what you call them, alteration, clothes alteration. They did that. See what I'm saying? So, my uncle was a hustler too. He had no store in them, but he hustled his numbers. He did his thing, numbers, blah, 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 blah. He lived to be 84. My dad lived to be 87. My mom, 76. She had dementia and Alzheimer's. She passed on. But I had people to look up to. In fact, my uncle was the first one to turn me on to fine fragrances at the age of 16. He came over to collect the money and the numbers he was run from my dad. Well, he came in to pay him. My pop made some money. And my dad was wearing Old Spice. And somehow or the other, I came outside. That's how my life has been throughout. I always run into knowledge from some people. I came out the house, and then we're going to be just about done. And I'll tell you about how I became free on my own accord. And he was getting out, come out the car. I said something about my dad wearing Old Spice or something, the green bottle. My dad went on to wear polo after that. He kind of stepped his game up. And he was like, your dad don't smell good. Let me give you something you really got to smell. He gave me a bottle of Aramis. Now, back then, I'm 16. I'm still in high school. I'm still at the Franklin Learning Center. But when I went to school fly. Just like I'm fly now, yo. I made me a pair of pants because we taught each other how to go to we go to the fabric store. Why don't you do that? Go to a fabric store. Learn how to get a sewing machine. Make your own clothes. It's easy to have somebody print up some t-shirts with your name on it, your face. Oh, look at me, I got a t-shirt with my name on it. Why don't you make the whole t-shirt? Why don't you learn how to make the t-shirt? See, this culture is lazy. And some of the older people about this culture, they just as lazy. They want to have talent, but they really don't have talent. They want to make people think they're talented, but people know that they're not talented. You have to do something that's going to separate yourself from the rest. You can be a leader, not a follower. You stay away from the foolishness. Don't be a one-trick pony, and you keep it heavenly. That's what you need to do. And the last one is not last for a reason. It's like no matter all that stuff, make sure you keep it heavenly. Make sure you're not here cussing and fussing, acting a fool, hitting on women, women hitting on men, shooting up each other, doing crazy stuff. Go to YouTube when I get this video if you want. Not the youngsters, but the teenagers and on up. And see what's happening to these children out here. Because their mother's not watching them. Their father's nowhere around, and they out here shooting each other up in the middle of the street on YouTube and on Facebook. It's there. You can look it up. All right? Now, the 10-year-olds, if your parents even let y'all even look at this video, because I know most of them not, because they want to keep you where you are. They don't want you to excel. They don't want you to try to do something better. They don't want you to say, Mom, you know what, Mom, I'm getting ready to roll out. No, you're not. Need you around here to sweep the floor or something. No. At the age of 18, I graduated from Franklin Learning Center, barely. Not because I wasn't smart, but because I really like music. And I paid attention more to music than I did academics, right? Because I knew I was smart. Smart, it wasn't no fact I was smart. I would never went to Central if I was smart. You didn't get through Central because I didn't want to get through Central. I wanted to do this. If I was at Central, I probably wouldn't be doing this. I'd probably be a doctor, maybe. I don't know. I don't trust doctors. I wouldn't be the kind of doctor they got out here now, pill pushing. I'd be a health doctor. I didn't take any pills to do this. I ain't take any Ozempic. I ain't take nothing. I did that, and I did this. And that's how I lost 80 pounds. Now, came home one night, hanging out with my homies. We graduated. We out. A friend of mine had a car his sister was selling. He was like, man, you can buy the car for my sister. I gave it $200. It was a raggedy car, but it was cool. We got around. So I gave him $200, and I used to ride around the car. He said, you got to take that license plate off because something happened. I don't want my sister getting in trouble. I got it. His name was Joe. And heaven rest his soul. And one night we went out, and we drinking beers, we drinking 40s, whatsoever. We driving drunk. Mama praying. I know my mom was in the house praying. Where is RaJuR at? I know who he out with. But all them guys I went to school with, all them guys we was in the band with, Lonnie, Jerry who tortures me every day with videos. Jerry, Kurt Rock passed away. Keith, he passed away. But yeah, we out in the streets. So, and they're gonna tell you the time I was drunk one time when I was a teenager. My friends put me on the porch. My dad said, what's wrong with you? And I went to bed. He was like, you drunk, ain't you? All right, forget about that. Because look at me now. I'm not an alcoholic, but I drink. So anyway, I got home. Opened the door. It's like 1 o'clock or something like that. My dad said, well, just because you graduated high school, you got the car, don't mean you gonna come in my house any old time you want. Of course, I'm not gonna argue with my dad. Stupid. That's disrespectful. Oh, you gonna tell me what to do? Well, that's stupid. But a lot of you are trained to do that because you got a generational curse that your mother talks like that and your father may talk like that. That's a generational curse. You got to break it. But he didn't really cuss. I don't remember him really even cussing. He said, you don't come out and say, you know me. He might say damn or something like that. You know what I mean? He didn't say effing. He didn't say MFing or anything like that. You can come out damn house anytime you want. Something like that. All right, cool. That was, I think it was July of 1979. Because like, we got out of school like June back then. I know that. That's part of the story I got to go. So, I'm like, man, I'm out of school now, and do I have to live here? Let me explore some options. And there's no limit to when you can join the armed forces, whether it's Marines, Navy, Air Force, or Army. If you're 30, 35, you can go right now and serve your country and serve them proud. Or it's Trump to shut up. Shut up. That's your mother's stuff because she don't want you to leave the house. She wants you to stay there. She ain't got no man. She needs somebody to yell at. Black women love to yell at people. If you left, they ain't got nobody to yell at. They need somebody to yell at. They need somebody to treat like they're their husband. Leave. Because that's what I did. Well, my dad said, You ain't come in your house any old time you want? I said, you're right. I ain't say I said in my mind, you're right. This is your house. Absolutely right. And I thank you for all the years you let me live here. I thank you for letting me steal your quarters. I thank you for letting me burn down the bathroom one time. He put my behind almost burnt the bathroom down. I told you I was a firebug. I kind of skipped that story. But my aunt, my grandma and aunt was up from Georgia, my mom's hometown, and had a lighter. But they used to smoke. My grandmother used to smoke. My aunt smoked until she passed. My mom used to smoke. They all used to smoke. Smoking like a mother. So there was lighters around the house at the time. Well, match, I don't know what it was. So my behind gets the lighter, and there was a towel on the towel rack holder in the bathroom. The bathroom was only big. The bathroom was about as big as this my little baby bathroom right here. It wasn't as big as my master bath. But no, it was big because I had a tub. Just got a shower. That bathroom had a tub, so it might be a little bit. Anyway, towel hanging. So I took the lighter. I'm underneath the lighter, like, you know, I'm underneath the towel because I don't want them to see me. Like, they all the way downstairs, right, talking, bing, bang, bang, and I'm up there. Lit the lighter. I think I remember it didn't light the first time, maybe, or the second time it didn't light, because I didn't know how to really use it. I said, I lit it. Freaking towel went up in the flames. Woof. Oh, snap! I run out the bathroom. I done closed the door and everything. I don't want them knowing I'm upstairs playing with the light. Mr. Firebug throwing matches in the goddamn car, right? So I ran out. I said, fire, fire, fire. I ran to the top stairs. And then my aunt come run upstairs. My mom was a little faster than my mom. They all looked like each other. They're like they were twins, but they weren't. My mom was a little dark skinned, my mom was a little light skinned, but they looked the same. Come up the steps. What's wrong? Oh, so they started finding water. Throw the water, get out the way. And they throwing water on a towel. And by the time that fire got out, the whole light, and the bathroom went right into the bedroom. It went into the pissy bedroom. Well, I pissed in the bed a lot of that. It went, the door right there. But it was right there, right, because you used to close the door and, you know, separate that little room. Close the door. Close on the pissy room, right? So, it was like, all right, cool. I'm sorry, it wasn't all right, cool. I was like, oh, snap, it was chaos. Burnt the joint, burnt part of the ceiling. I'm best being dead. I'm best being dead. I'll tell the story before I continue the story. I skip over, I be all over the place. I'm best being dead, man. So I thought about running away, because I ain't want to incur the wrath of what was about to happen when my dad got home and smelled that smoke and saw that bathroom burnt. I went down, I can say I couldn't lie about it. I couldn't say I accidentally lit the lighter. I couldn't say I was upstairs peeing and then the towel just burst into flames. I was out. I was out of gas, man. I knew this was not going to be good. And it wasn't going to be good for a while. I mean, just imagine your child burning some of your house up. I mean, not cooking. All right, if I was cooking down there and all of a sudden, all right, that's fine, you was cooking. But you upstairs under a towel, flicking a freaking lighter. This dummy. Burns the freaking bathroom. I know he like an hour and a half from being home. He's walking the door like 4 or something like that. I'm thinking about it now. I'm ready to just run out my own apartment. Because it was like crazy. Man, he came in the house. I was upstairs like I was asleep. It was over. It was over. My dad's vicious. He let me get away with pissing in the bed and stuff like that. But that, he get away with hooking in school and go to school, stealing cigarettes, stealing kits out of my mom and pop. Well, I used to hook in school when I was in elementary school too. I forgot about that. Me and my man Tony. Some of y'all fully know Tony. He runs Time Out. He runs another bar. We still hanging around, man. Anyway, he used to hooky school, man, be in the playground on 29th and Marston, where my aunt used to live. She never caught us. She lived right there. We playground hooking school. Anyway, I knew it was over. So, he and Danny killed me, but he beat me. He beat me. I was running. He was like, "That's okay. I'm tired of chasing you. I'm gonna stay right here by these stairs. Because where you're not going is down them stairs and try to curl up under your mother. And that wouldn't work anyway. I wouldn't have did that. 'Cause I know he probably would have harmed my mother. You know, just only because he trying to get at me, not because he had harmed her. But I think it kind of grew into how you let him be up there, and then she had to take the brunt of a lot of stuff that I did in my life. And I prayed to my mom that a lot of stuff that came upon her because of me. I used to think about that. I'm like, man, you know, I put my mom in a lot of trouble a lot of times because it was like my dad would be like, well, you was home, why didn't you do that? And they get in arguments and whatsoever and whatever. You know, my mom didn't cuss; she had to deal with it. But a lot of things was because of me, you know. And I feel kind of sad thinking about that because again, you know, it'd be the same thing for you. You come home from work, you know, if you're a dude, I mean, most of y'all don't live with your kids. You live with your homies in jail. No, I'm just kidding. I'd say that. It might be true though. I don't know. It might be true. So anyway, you come home and you like, yo, and the first thing you'll say is, well, how did he burn the goddamn bathroom down? What was y'all doing? Of course, he ain't gonna go at my grandma, 'cause my grandma would kick his butt. And my auntie, you definitely ain't gonna get down with her. My mom's a softie. My mom's the one that never cussed, never fussed, with anything. So no, she had to take the brunt, because when they went to bed, of course, I can hear them arguing. That man was crazy, man. This is another thing, man. I mean, a lot of you, I'm really talking to people who don't have a mother and a father together. But if you ever do anything, you got a mother and father, just really, I mean, being young, being 10, don't do nothing to get your mother in trouble. If you really love your mother, or maybe your father. Maybe your mother's the boss, and your father's the cool guy. Don't do nothing to get your parent in trouble with your other parent, because, I mean, even if it was me, first thing I would say, well, how he upstairs freaking lighting cigarettes? I mean, towels, and burning down the house. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, so now, let's get back. Because see, I'm remembering the stuff I did back in the day I ain't even mentioned. Look at me now. All right, let's keep it going. So, I think maybe 2 days later, I went down to the Army Recruiting Center downtown on Arch Street. I think they had one on Arch Street, and then across the street was the Air Force and the Navy. Everything was right there on Arch Street, Broad and Arch, I think it was. So I said, well, I don't want to carry no gun. So I went in the Army. I said, well, shoot, they carry a gun. You know, Marines carry guns. They even more gunny. So I didn't want to be carrying guns. Look at me now. Anyway, so I didn't want to carry any guns. I didn't want to kill nobody. I don't believe in killing people. So I didn't want to carry any guns. So I said, well, either the Air Force or the Navy. So my man, Bill, he played drums. And he was like, well, I'm going to the Air Force. So then I went to the Navy guy, and I was like, well, what's the difference between the Air Force and the Navy? He was like, well, the Navy get to travel. The Air Force get on the base. They got to stay there. It might be as long as 3 or 4 years. They in one place. Bill liked that. So Bill went to Hong Kong. He over there buying music equipment, stereo equipment, stuff like that. He loves stereo equipment. We used to love stereo equipment back in the day. We was audiophiles. I mean, we was collecting nice. I used to buy JVC cassette deck to do like, there was gray market. I used to go downtown and get on gray market. Reggae 300, I save up like 200 and get my, I had some nice stereo equipment back in the day. So anyway, he was like, I'm going to the Navy. I mean, the Air Force. I said, bro, y'all don't go nowhere. He was like, I don't care. Like I said, he was in Hong Kong buying stuff, bringing it back home. And I went to the Navy. And I went to boot camp in Chicago, Great Lakes. Went there and did my boot camp like a man. Like a man. And you meet people from everywhere, New York, whatsoever. You meet crazy guys. A couple of guys from New York. I still got a couple of pictures with them, man. They were some crazy dudes from New York. But, yeah. So, hung out with them. Got past boot camp. I had a girlfriend. I wanted to marry her. I said, well, look, when I get out of boot camp and I get settled in Cali, let's get married, because I love her. I just found her picture from way back in the day the other day. I just found her picture. Beautiful woman. I got you. My homie messed that up, though, because I couldn't be here. Another story. I couldn't be here for her graduation, so she went on graduation with this dude named Jonathan, who was just wanting to be with her anyway. He was a jealous guy. I was always with her, and she wanted to graduate with him. And when I came back out of boot camp, I was pissed. That was it. I met her maybe like 20 years later after that, though. I met her 20 years later. We went and had some old-time whoopee. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I went to Navy. I went to boot camp. I came back. I got my stuff. I got everything I needed. Bring everything you're going to run a gun, because you can ready to go to Lemoore, California. So I was going to be in the aircraft squadron, which I was. VA 146, Blue Diamonds. USS Constellation, aircraft carrier. Go there. I never came back home. Never came back home. Now, the whole time I was there, the whole bid, never went back home. Hope this is inspiration for you. If you're still living with your mother and you're over friggin' 30 or close to being near 30, there's the military. And you don't have to be scared. Don't be trying to blame, don't have your mother saying some old Trump mess, all that stuff. It didn't matter who was there. I wasn't even into politics. But it was Reagan when I went in. No, it was Carter or somebody when I went in. And we had the Iran hostage crisis. That was Carter. I didn't care who the doggone president was. It don't matter. I know how I want to live my life. Trump can't do nothing to make your life worse in the military, no more than friggin' your CO and your XO. Or when you're in boot camp, your CO and your XO gonna make your life jacked up. Ain't got to do with politics. Your job is to protect your country, no matter who is in there. But a lot of you got mother and father, they be trying to play that game. But I'm telling you, they're trying to keep you where you are. Go in the military. Let's do a couple years. Sign up for 3. I did a 3x2x1, which was 3 years active, 2 years inactive, and 1 year reserve or something like that. I never did the other 3. I just did the 3 active. I got into a situation, but I did just the 3 active. Go save the country. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't let your mother keep you in the house. Make your mother proud. I think your mother be proud that you decide to get out and go and do something for yourself, as opposed to have you around so she can yell at you because you forgot to do something. Because she ain't got no man. Now, I got friends who are in this position. And they can be upset at me if you want, but I'm not telling a lie. I mean, I'm not saying, I might be erroneous as I'm saying, they go home to yell at the children they have because they don't have a man. I'm not saying that. That has nothing to do with it. You can have a beautiful mother that won't be yelling about anything. What I'm saying is you have to take the initiative to get out your mother's house. The military is right there. I told them, you need me to do one more cruise on the Indian Ocean? I'm healthy, I'm fit. Let me climb up on some airplane. Shoot, there's people there 67 years old now. Still in the military. On aircraft carriers. I seen them when I was on the aircraft carrier. Old heads. They love being a swabby. When we come in for a year, I come in for a year. Until I'm 65. Now I stay there longer. If I really like it, we go on some good cruises. I'll go back in. If I had to. I'll go back in. Man, I enjoyed that. Best part of my 3 parts of my life. And I was going to continue. I was going to life out. I probably would have stayed there 25, 30 years. Easy. But something happened. That's another story for another time. But look what happened. We get forks in the road all the time. You go this way, you go that way, you go that way. You get forks in the road all the time. You got to make the decision. It might not be the right decision, but it's a decision. You have to get out your mother's house and make a decision. You're too comfy. You're too old. And youngsters, don't. You get to be of age, get out. Get out. Get out. There's many things you can do. You become educated enough, go to college and stay in college. No, I don't live no, I'm staying on, I'm going to get up enough money that I get a scholarship. I'm going to study from the age of 10 now, so I can become very, very intelligent, so I can get a scholarship. So mama can't blame the scholarship, you're not having one, to bring you back home. Well, I can't afford to pay for you staying up there. Get a scholarship. Show her like I showed my dad. Get a scholarship. She ain't got to pay for nothing. And you can stay up there as long as it takes for you to become what you want to become. I'm telling you, stop it. And women, stop it. Stop not initiating your grown men children into doing something positive. Stop it. That's not fair to them. Then they're going to grow up resenting you. They're going to realize how much they missed because you or the sperm donor or the father never was there to tell them there's more you can be doing. And not even about staying in the house. It's not about staying in the house. It's about doing something. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, yo. You got to do it, bro. You got to put on some kahunas even little kahunas, and get out the door and plan to get out the door. But you gotta do that by studying. You gotta be intelligent. You gotta learn new stuff every day. You guys are bombarded with things you can learn right now. I'm not talking about being a rapper and going on social media and friggin' capping off videos that's already made or trying to get endorsements, because that's not gonna last long. That's not a talent. Anybody can do that. You need a talent. And you need to take that talent and do something different with that talent. My talent's a music producer. I play the instruments. I got a studio. But my music don't sound like smooth jazz. My music doesn't sound like what you hear on the radio. And it will never sound like any. I didn't become a musician to sound like everybody. I didn't become a musician to be playing with freaking bands all my life. Old, beat up bands. I'm sorry, that's what they are. All my friends I grew up with, they playing with bands. These guys like 90s, 90, 100 years old, and they playing with bands. I'm talking the groups are 190 years old. 5,000 years old, and they still playing instruments for these bands instead of making their own music, because they're not motivated. They have no motivation. They're comfortable in the space. It's easier to be coddled by somebody else than to make your own, take your own, and be your own. And instead of just being a musician, won't you? I got my man, he does some other stuff. He's a musician and he's doing this. Why? I'm not impressed by all the guys I grew up with out here playing with the Intruders and the Manhattans and all these groups that are 5,000 years old. But I got my young buck, he was playing with Jay-Z. he was playing with, what's the Caucasian boy name? My man, he's doing Nashville now. He's down in Nashville doing country music. That's what he did. He playing with up-to-date bands. Not old bands ain't doing no music right now. And of course, there's not an artist that's doing music right now. There's not. So there's nobody to play for. But if you're a musician, make music. Make your music. Make your music different. Don't get into a vein that you sounding like this, sounding like that. Do alternative music. And don't be doing no computer music that you just dragging samples in. Learn how to play something. Pick up a guitar. And you ain't got to play it good. You just play it just enough that you can make a song. I got to go. It's time to go do my executive chauffeuring. Yeah. Again. Escape. Don't let any parents keep you home, because you're never going to get anywhere. Because if they don't have a talent, then you don't have a talent. If I had a child right now, I got something to offer my child. You want to learn how to be a music engineer? Who don't like music? Who don't want to make music? Who don't want to play a guitar or instrument? Who? If they want to be a rapper, you got a place to do it. Or you want to be an artist? You want to know how to draw? I can teach you how to do that. If you don't have something to teach your older child or your younger child, a talent, then take them somewhere they can let somebody else do it. And this video is to let you know I've been doing this for years, but yeah, a lot of you taking what I say the wrong way because you don't like a strong man of color kind of suggesting things to you because you want to be the strong man of color. And I'm telling you, I'm here for all the children. That's why I don't have a job now with the school district, just to end this. Because I was reaching out to a child that said, oh yeah, I would like to make music. Cool. That's what we're going to do. Come to find out one day, I see the child coming right here where I live, in my complex. I'm like, yo, he was like, oh, that's Mr. Drip. He's calling me Mr. Drip. Y'all know what that means. Or Mr. Fit. That's what they called me when I was at school. Here are the pictures to show you how much influence I've had at a doggone elementary school. I took my business pass here. I had the business pass, I wouldn't really work there. It's right there. My proof is there. I have all the receipts. I had the Grammy receipts. I had the newspaper clipping receipts. I had the performance receipts. I had the limo receipts. I had a paraprofessional receipt. I have all the receipts. I even have notary receipts. I just never finished up the notary thing. Don't let your son get trapped into being a slave of this government, and I don't care who's running it. Because the government not running anything. It's the people that didn't like you anyway from the rip. And they want to keep you dependent. and then they keep giving your son and all them some substance. Because a lot of you won't let your kids go because they give you subsidies. If them kids go and do something, then they're gonna cut your subsidies. I'm telling you right now, there's a video out. The boy said, I wanna do this. She was like, no, you can't, because they're gonna cut down on my subsidies. He was like, well, I don't wanna stay here no more. I wanna go, I'm gonna find that video and make sure I post it. And it wasn't a skit, it was a real video. But I think the sister was taping it. And she was like, no, you need to stay here because it's gonna cut off what I'm getting from the government. That's how you end the video.